Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon and today I'm going to be speaking about my Kindle TBR, and also I have new hair. I'm just going to show it off now. So I previously had blonde at my ends and I technically want to go back to like my root color, which is like this dark color here, but I thought I have a cat playing with the tripod. So I thought while my hair was still blonde, I may as well have fun with it before I dye it back to my natural brunette color. So I am now half pink, and it has got like some like really bright spots and some darker spots from where my blonde was like a caramel color. It came out like this deep reddy kind of color, and then where my blonde was really blonde, it's came out really pink. So there's a right good mix in there, but I'm feeling it. It's gonna take a while to get used to because I've had my like balayage blonde for so long that by the point it is now, it's more ombre than it is balayage, because lockdown hit my hair hard and I did not expect it. So like, you know, there might be a video up of me already with this new hairdo, so if there is, then this explanation is pointless, but I thought I would share in the journey with you that I now have pink hair and I feel so happy about it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. So I'm in my crusty ass t-shirt, which I wear to bed. I'm chill. I have my laptop next to me with some of the books that I have on my Kindle TBR. So grab yourselves a drink and settle down. This is going to be a really chill video of just me talking through some of the books that I want to read. I should probably get a top up on my own juice, to be fair. This is the angle we're working with because I can look at the laptop and look at you, and I can pop the pictures on this screen here for you to see for yourselves. So I have a Kindle, and let me tell you, I am fine with Kindle. I really enjoy having a Kindle. I feel like I read quicker when I'm reading from my Kindle. The only problem is that when I buy Kindle Unlimited, when I subscribe to their subscription, I procrastinate on all of my TBR books and just read smut pretty much, or thrillers. So I tend to try and only buy Kindle Unlimited when it's got like a promotional offer or when I am in the mood for some spicy romances. Apart from that, I tend to try and stay away from it so I can prioritize my physical TBR, but it never actually happens because every time there's a deal, I'll go back on it and then I will read all of the Kindle books. Like, I'll go through stages where all I will read is Kindle books. So quite a few of these are series because I start series and never fucking finish them. So it's not that shocking. I think by this point everyone's got series outstanding, so it's not that shocking. So the first book I have here is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and I was pretty shocked when I read the synopsis of this book because I expected it to be like really high fantasy, so there was no contemporary worlds in it at all. So this actually takes place in modern day, and with Persephone being a journalist, which is her disguise because she is Persephone in title only and her magic does not work, I believe. And then we have Hades, who comes and takes her to the underworld, and she has to fall in love with him or lose her freedom forever. This is a retelling. We all know Hades and Persephone's story, so I think it would be quite interesting to see what this adaptation does for it, this retelling does. I have not read a lot of Hades and Persephone retellings, so I'm probably not the best person to look to if like you're looking for in-depth recommendations. But I am making my way through some of the Greek mythology retellings that I've had my eye on. This has been one of them because it sounds so good, and I have been promised spice, so as soon as I heard that, I added that to my TBR real quick. So yes, A Touch of Darkness. The next book I have here is Good Gone Bad by Gianna Darling. This is the third book in the Fallen Men series. I gave the first book 4 stars and I picked up the second book. I have now picked up the second book twice. The first time I didn't DNF it, but I put it down for like that minute and then I just didn't pick it up again. The second time I just felt like I was reading stuff that I had already read, and it, like, I don't actually know if I got any further than what I did the first time. So I just wasn't having a good time with the second book, and it's unfortunate because, you know, I really liked the first book and I liked what I read of the second book. It just didn't hold my attention. But I am interested in continuing on with the series, and if I get the inclination, I can always go back and read the second one. I know bare bones of what the second one's about, so I'm not too worried about losing any of the plot lines. So I'm really excited about this one because this one is following Harley, and Harley is the sister to King and the daughter of Zeus. So it's going to be very interesting to see her story, because so far it's been 2 male protagonists from the Fallen Men Club. So it'll be interesting to see her ties with the club and her relationship, which I believe is with a police officer, which, oh, that could be spicy. A police officer romance with a girl that is literally the daughter of the president of the Fallen Men's Club, which is like a badass motorcycle gang. I'm in. It sounds spicy, it sounds dramatic, it sounds like fun time. So I will definitely be reading this at some point and probably following on with this series because I really enjoy the writing and I love a motorcycle romance story. I should read more of them, but I'm getting there. So the third book I have here is I Promise You, and this is by Isla Madden Mills. I gave the first book 3 stars, the second book 4 stars, and the third book 3 stars. So overall, this is just like a middle of the road, fun university romance series for me. I have enjoyed more than others, mostly dependable on the characters, because I feel like if I like a character, then you're pretty much guaranteed for me to enjoy the story more, because that's what I like. Like I can do without plot. If you give me characters that have sustenance, then I will be there, even if the plot is like slow and boring. If the characters are there, I'm there. So for me, the characters in the series, like they're all separate. You can read them all as standalones, but then like if you read them all together, it becomes like a world, and like each of them have interconnected relationships with each other. And in this one, we follow Dylan and Serena, and I believe we met one of them previously. I can't remember. I think it was Dylan we met previously, and he kisses Serena on the night of the bonfire, and there is, of course, a story that goes along with that. Whoever you kiss at the bonfire, you will never forget. And he hasn't forgotten her, but she seems to have forgotten him. So he makes it his mission to make her remember him in the best way possible. And I am very interested in this story. This is the last one in the Wayland University series. So once I wrap this up, I've read all of the books in that series and I will be happy with that. They've all been really good, to be honest. I think that when you read a lot of romance, it can go one of either ways. You either like become really harsh on your ratings, or you become like really mellow on your ratings. And the thing is these aren't the best romance books I've ever read, but Dear Ava from the same author was phenomenal. It was my first 5-star of the year, so like I like the writing, and I do tend to like that she went harder in that standalone. These university books seem to be lower stakes, and that means that Some of them pay off and some of them don't, and for me, one has paid off as a 4-star, the other 2 have just been average. Maybe this 4th one will be the equalizer between all 4 of them. But either way, I'm excited to read it. The next book I have here is Bunny by Mona Awad. This book, I have been promised weird. I have been promised weird. And if I don't get weird from this book, I am not going to be impressed, because not only have I been promised weird from people on BookTube, I have also been promised weird from everybody on my Goodreads. So I have very high hopes that this is going to fuck my head up. Please. So this is what I know. I have tried to stay away from the synopsis of this book too much because, again, I want it to be weird. I want to be like thinking what the hell is going on. So I thought the less I knew about the book, the better. Going into it, it stands like a bigger chance going into it to surprise me. So I believe there's a woman named Samantha, and she gets invited to this kind of elite smut salon where they start conjuring things, I believe. And I think they all call each other Bunny, and like it gets really sinister. So it starts off as like she gets invited to something that like is really elite, and then it turns out that they're just like a bunch of nut jobs conjuring stuff, their own demons and their own monsters from their own stories. I think that is what it's about. Again, I have tried to avoid the synopsis of this book, so trying to explain it to you when I don't know nothing is really hard, but I have been promised weird and I am here for it, so I will take it. The next book I have is The Venue by TJ Payne. This was recommended to me from Effie over at What Effie Reads. They will be linked down below, and they came across it, I believe, in Spoops' Discord, Patreon Discord. A lot of them were reading it over there. It's horror, it's weird, and that is, well, I wanted to start reading more horror this year, so that's one thing that Effie knows that I am looking for. So they kindly sent this recommendation my way, and I have decided to add it to my Kindle TBR. This is about a wedding, and I'm pretty sure it's someone gets invited to this wedding that hasn't spoken to the groom in years, and there was an incident, and when he gets invited, like, he goes because who wouldn't go? Like, all expenses paid, luxury event with free booze, and hopefully nice sightseeing things because it's in the Alps. Like, who wouldn't go? Who wouldn't go? I'd be there for the free booze. Like, you don't need any more than a free bottle of champagne to get me there, okay? Unfortunately, I don't think this ends well for any of them because I think there's a killer on the loose, so maybe the free champagne isn't worth it if I'm gonna get killed. I don't want to get killed for it. So that's what I believe this is. I believe someone goes to a wedding and then a killer goes on the loose. And I am here for it because I love me some good old slasher, love slasher films, and I'm looking for more slasher books. So if you can recommend me any, please recommend some in the comments because I really need some new horror stuff in my life. I feel like the films that I've been watching recently have been lacking because they're either predictable or like gross for no apparent reason. Although I did watch Spiral, the new Saw, and I was pretty surprised by it because I expected it to be okay. I didn't expect it to be shit, but I went in with really mediocre expectations and they came out like a lot higher than what I thought they would be because like I enjoyed what they done with it. I was afraid that they were gonna ruin it because like when a franchise is dead, you know a franchise is dead, and I really enjoy the Saw franchise. So I was worried that they were going to bring it back and ruin it for like a money grab situation. But to be honest, I like where it's going. I will watch the next one when it comes out because I liked the storyline that it took. And it was also quite funny, which was lacking from quite a few of the other Saw films. And I kind of liked the funny in between the serious. So yeah, I just went off on a huge tangent there. But anyway, The Venue. Horror, I'm here for it. Next book that I have here is A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa. This is the second book in the Bargainer series, and I gave the first book 4 stars, so I am very much looking forward to this. In this we follow Callie, who has a bracelet of beads going up her wrist, and each bead is an IOU to Desmond, who is quite a powerful king or prince. I don't know for certain. Maybe I should reread the first one before I go into the second one. And like, I enjoyed the first one. I now know that we're going more from contemporary, like modern contemporary, to now a fantasy world, which I'm looking forward to, because like the fantasy storyline that ended in the first one was really good. I felt like it built a lot of anticipation for the second one. So yeah, like I gave the first one 4 stars. I am definitely into it. I'm into the baseline of the fantasy world and the romance and the genuine storyline that's going through it. I'm into it, so I hope the sequel's just as good as the first one, if not better. I have heard mixed things, so I'm going in with just low expectations, and hopefully I will be surprised. But either way, I will be picking that up because I need some Desmond in my life. I need some Des. He's a dreamboat, and I hope he just gets better as the series like progresses. And the last book I have here is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. So this is the first book in the Nightfall series, I believe, and I know virtually nothing about this. I know that it's a bully romance, I know that it's Penelope Douglas, and I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about this book. So I have read the Bully series by Penelope Douglas, absolutely fucking loved it. I read Birthday Girl and Punk 57 and Tris 6 Venom, absolutely loved all of them. I read Credence. I wasn't a huge fan of Credence, partly because I didn't know it was a reverse harem. And if you go into a reverse harem not knowing what it is, you get hit in the face by a lot of things. There was a lot of things in the air. Like, come on. There was a lot of things going on, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that it was a reverse harem, so like, I didn't know what to do with that. So I didn't have the best experience with Credence, but maybe that was my own fault. But I am excited to read Corrupt because it has been one that I've had my eye on since finishing the Bully series. I have had my eye on this just because I know that I really enjoyed her Bully series that I read, so why would I not enjoy her other series? And I absolutely love Penelope Douglas's writing, so I really hope that I have a good time with this. So that is all I have for you today. I feel like my leg looks disjointed. It's just like resting on the seat, so like, I promise I have a body after this. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Me, my new hair, my crusty ass old t-shirt, and some Kindle books that I plan to read at some point soon. So I also have a cat running about, try to play with the tripod and get my attention, so I should probably go give her some loving. And yeah, if you have read any of these books, let me know in the comments what you thought of them. Let me know if any of these are on your TBR, and yeah, stay safe, happy and healthy, and I shall see you the next time.
Pack up my summer in a Ziploc bag. Old maps and tchotchkes, photographs of this and that. I'll write myself a letter so that I'll remember